This country requires all hands on deck, and we must elect Courtney Morton to office, District 3. Mr. Courtney Morton possesses the right characteristics: the humility, the thoughtfulness, the creativity, and most importantly, the authenticity to positively impact this district and nation. They say that comparison is the thief of joy. District 3, tonight I will disagree, because it brings me great pleasure to compare and contrast our year and 11 months against their 15 years in office. District 3, it brings me great pleasure to compare and contrast the record of our year and 11 months against their 15 years in office. In one hand, you have a party that decimated the fiscal strength of our country through their reckless fiscal policies and inflated budgets. In the good hand, you have a party who believes in their fiduciary responsibility to the people of Anguilla and is restoring confidence in the Anguilla financial market. In one hand again, you have a party that governs in secrecy and does not understand the concept of transparency. And in the right hand, you have a party that is open, accessible, and communicates even when we disagree and the choices are hard. In one hand again, you have a party that sat back and watched our local retail business sector become overrun by expat operations. And in the solid hand, you have a movement that said enough is enough and passed the Licensing of Businesses Act 2021. This act protects the local industry and strengthens our business registration process. At the end of the day, District 3, we are human beings, and comparisons are a normal part of human awareness. So when I sit back and truly evaluate our progress as a party, I am confident that this is the team to take Anguilla forward. This APM team is the right team. We have not always gotten it 100% right all the time, but based on our principled stances on establishing sound fiscal policy, operating with transparency and integrity, and believing in the capabilities and talent of each Anguillian, this team is well positioned to take advantage of future opportunities and ensure that Anguillians have a stake in the new global economy. People of Valley North, this team is united in our efforts to restore confidence in the Anguilla people, in the Anguillian government, and in the Anguillian promise. District 3, I wasn't joking when I said we can't go back to the mistakes of the past. That was not an exaggeration. This administration has encountered entrenched challenges and deep wounds that need immediate attention and intensive care. Unwinding 15 years of carelessness, recklessness, and poor judgment is no easy task, District 3. It's no easy task. The Anguilla Progressive Movement has a plan to synchronize government policy with the will and talent of the people. We are in the process of passing legislation that improves the status of contracted hotel workers. We are in the process of addressing a livable wage for the people of Anguilla. We will implement an understudy and career development program and continue to attract foreign direct investment that provides jobs and opportunities for our people, District 3. District 3, this is the team that Courtney Morton is a part of. Courtney Morton has been in the trenches with us from day one. He has his fingers on the pulse of the nation and knows what District 3 needs to advance. Whether that's infrastructure resources, improving utilities, taking care of our elderly, and creating opportunities. District 3, you have a partner in Courtney Morton, a man with years of experience in banking and community development. District 3, I want you to think long and hard about the past 17 years and that one-way street you have tried. Was it mutually beneficial? Was it a mutually beneficial relationship, District 3? Was there a return on your investment? District 3, you have a decision to make, a very serious one. For the past 17 years, you have tried one way. That same person might tell you to try something else. That one way didn't bring progress to this district. That one way didn't uplift this district in the way that you deserve. District 3, you cannot expect different results if you do what you have always done. District 3, Stony Ground, Little Licks, Northside, the entire district, Valley North, you have been flying in one direction and have not reached your destination, and now your pilot has ran out of fuel. He has ran out of fuel, District 3. It's time to change flight and get on board with Courtney Morton. This is your chance to elect a community man, an action man, a man that allows his work to speak for him. District 3, this is your chance to elect Courtney Morton as your next representative of this district. District 3, there is no I in team, but there is an I in time, and it is time to say no to the AUF in Valley North. There's no I in team, but there's an I in time, and it is time to say no to the AUF in Valley North. So on election day, the 23rd and the 24th, you have one vote, District 3, and that one vote is the boat. Vote the boat. Go out in your numbers, District 3. Call your friends, text your friends, vote the boat. Look for the name Courtney Morton and cast your vote for the boat. Good night, peace and love, District 3.
Them was smiling on your face, just to win your grace.
Why?
And when you need them, you can't find them.
Show me friend I call.
We don't want them. We don't want them. No hypocrite comes around
When your opening batsman hits sixes and fours and retire not out, you have to give him a round of applause. Give it up to Kyle Hodge, the Honorable Minister, delivering on his promises. Ladies and gentlemen, the Minister spoke of the 17 years that District 3 was left neglected. As a matter of fact, the candidate now who's running for the office acknowledged that for 17 years, nothing happened in District 3. But I want to go a little further, because prior to him, there was another representative who controlled this constituency from the Anguilla United Front, who had this constituency on the lock for 21 years. And then before that, Mr. Banks had it for 3 years. So collectively, the United Front controlled this seat for 41 years. 41 years. And somebody told me it's one of the few districts that if Christopher Columbus came back, he would recognize. But change can't wait, ladies and gentlemen. And that is why we're here, to support Mr. Courtney Morton, because he will bring the change that is necessary. Ladies and gentlemen of District 3, without further ado, I would like to firstly extend apologies for the absence of the Honorable Minister of Education and Social Development, Ms. Deanne Kendish Rogers, who's away off island at the moment representing the country that she loves and doing a great job. She's doing a tremendous job, and the people in the sister district of District 4 should be proud of the person that they elected on June 29th of 2020. And her sidekick, I shouldn't even be calling him a sidekick, but the man from District 5, the coach, the Honorable Mary Chutson, who has been doing a tremendous job, ladies and gentlemen. And tonight we had base heads, and they gave us a little snippet of what they do. But ladies and gentlemen, through the Ministry of Social Development and the leadership of the Honorable Deanne Kentish Rogers and the Honorable Mary Chutson, this week you'll be hearing a notice about the long-awaited, that they have talked about for over 20 years, the drag strip. So listen out. I'll keep that a secret for now. Just listen out later this week. I'll keep that a secret for now. And hopefully the honorable member don't reveal that secret. So without any delay, I'm bringing to the podium the Honorable Ministerial Assistant, Mr. Mary Chutson.
Let them keep talking. Whoa, bark if you're barking. Oh yes, let them talk, keep them talking. Hey, we're gonna keep them talking, laugh when they're talking, yeah. We've got a lot more coming, talk, keep them talking. We're gonna keep them talking, laugh when they're talking, yeah. We've got a lot more coming.
Let them talk. We got a lot more coming. 2 years and so much has been done. Last night I said I'm not a betting man, but I changed my mind. I'm ready to take bets. Find an administration that has done more in their full term. Better yet, find an administration who has done more in 15 years than what we have done in less than 2 years. Taking our bets, bring them on. Anguilla, good night. District 3, good night. Little Dix, good night. District 3, are you ready for election day? District 3, are you ready to vote Courtney Morton into the Anguilla House of Assembly? I have known Courtney for over 30 years. Over 30 years I have considered him a friend and a mentor. And in that time, I have never seen Courtney as fired up and as passionate as he was last night. And for those of you who missed it, you missed a man that is fired up and is ready to fight for you. This man embodies his slogan, representation in government and action in your community. Because Courtney is the only one of the candidates in this by-election who can bring you representation in government, and he has been a man in action of this community all his life. Representation, not talk. Action, not talk. Because whether they like it or not, the only man in this by-election that can give you, the people of District 3, Valley North, representation in government is Courtney Morton. Anguilla, Valenard, I understand how politics work. I understand that there are those who don't want to see this administration continue to go forward because it don't fit their narrative or the plans that they had for us. I understand that there are those who will try to bring us down by any means necessary. I understand that there are those who do not want Courtney to be successful at the polls Monday and Tuesday because a strong APM administration will be getting stronger by adding someone of Courtney's value. But I say to those persons, you can't stop the boat. You can't stop progress because this is not about Premier Webster or any other member of his cabinet. This is about Anguilla. District 3, tomorrow and Tuesday, I'm begging, come out in your numbers and vote the only candidate who from Wednesday, God's willing, can start to make a meaningful contribution to Anguilla and by extension to you, the good people of Valenard. District 3, we are approaching the finish line. The last few weeks, Courtney has been knocking on your doors and meeting with you. He has been putting his case forward to you, the good people of Valenard, as to why he is the best person to represent you. He has done his part, and it's now for you, the good people of District 3, Valenard, to do your part. And your part is simple. Tomorrow, as you go out for all the voting, walk in faith, knowing that you will be voting for a man of integrity and a man who has this community at heart. And on Tuesday, when we get there, if we get there for 5, we want to make sure that you are there for 4. Get out early. We want to meet you at the polling stations, ready to vote the vote. So remember, wear your mask. Look for the name Courtney Morton and the symbol of the boat. Shade that area and let's, for the first time in over 4 decades, bring real representation to District 3. Again, remember, on the 23rd and on the 24th, we voting Courtney Morton the boat. Courtney Morton the boat. Good night. Thank you.
Let them keep talking. Whoa, bark if you're barking. Oh yes, let them talk, keep them talking. Hey, we're gonna keep them talking, laugh when they're talking, yeah. We've got a lot more coming. Talking.
Let them talk. We got a lot more coming. A lot more. As I said, we let know the secrets one by one. And ladies and gentlemen, it's been a long time we haven't had a carnival. But we're having a carnival this year. A full carnival from Juve all the way to Parade. Boat races and everything in between. And they say that for the first time, the trucks can run on either side of the airport road without tipping over. Ladies and gentlemen, in less than 2 years, no administration have done what this administration have done in less than 2 years. So imagine what the next 2 years will bring. You will see it from this week on. And when you elect Courtney Morton to the House, you will see even more being done. Even more. Because what the Honorable Merrick Richardson did not tell you, that Courtney Morton was also a mentor to me. Because way back in 1991, 1989, 1990, and 1991, I worked with him at Barclays Bank PLC. We all 3 of us worked together at the bank. And Courtney had been a diligent person. And he has moved up throughout the ranks, including manager of an international bank. The expertise that he has brought and the wisdom that he brought and the calmness of his demeanor. He has brought so much. And we are happy that in 2 days will be the election, but in 3 days he'll be sworn in as the next representative for District 3. Without further delay, ladies and gentlemen, I'll be bringing to the podium the Honorable Minister of Home Affairs, a giant who continues to ensure that Anguillians come first. And ladies and gentlemen, you will see major constitutional reform under this minister. You will see amendments to the Labor Relations Act that will benefit the people of this country, ladies and gentlemen. And you will also see, for the first time in our history, a living wage legislation, consumer protection legislation. And that consumer protection legislation and price control will be implemented before the 1st of July 2022. So without any further delay, I'd like to bring to the podium the Honorable Minister of Home Affairs, Mr. Kenneth Hodge.
Oh yeah, Jehovah has a final say for my life, for your life. Believe in him, hallelujah. Final say, yes. Final say is what I need. Final say, final say is from the Lord. Who has the final say? Jehovah has the final say. Who has the final say? Jehovah has the final say. Who is the King of Kings? Jehovah is the King of Kings. Who has the final say? Jehovah has the final say.
Good night, my fellow Anguillians. Good night. How you all doing tonight? It's a beautiful night in Anguilla. I want to say a special good evening to the wonderful people of Little Dix and District 3 in general. This is my district. This is where I was born. So I feel very proud to be here this evening. Give District 3 some claps and some horns, my people. District 3, I am here tonight for 2 reasons. One, to publicly thank God for bringing us thus far. And 2, to present to you your very own Courtney Morton as he puts himself forward to be your representative for this district and the Anguilla House of Assembly in this by-election. District 3, Courtney Morton is your only true representative in this race. Courtney Morton is the only true candidate who can represent all of your interests at this time. Courtney Morton is the only true candidate in this race who will have the power invested in him to tackle head-on the issues facing this district and the country as a whole. District 3, Courtney is not a man with sweet talk and rhetoric. He is a man of action. He is not a man of theatrics. He is a serious-minded man. He is a man who has his community at heart. He is a man on a mission. He is a man of purpose. And here is where he differs from the others. His team, our team, the APM, is a team on a mission. His team, our team, the APM, is a team with a purpose That is to create a better Anguilla, the Anguilla reimagined. My fellow Anguillians, the people of District 3, you are beginning to see and feel that new Anguilla already. Just stand at the bottom of the central polyclinic in the valley and look down to the roundabout at the People's Market in the valley and tell me, what do you see? Stand at the roundabout at the post office and gaze down to the valley roundabout and tell me, what do you see? Is it not amazing, my people? Is that not an Anguilla reimagined? Drive around to the airport and down to the Blunt Point Ferry Terminal and tell me, what do you see? Is that not progress, my people? These are some of the things that your vote for Courtney Morton will continue to allow us to do. Are you now excited that finally we will have proper representation, serious representation, and representation from day one? Now is not the time for fun and frolic. Now is our time, District 3. We are people on a mission, a people of action. Let us be laser focused. We are here to get the job done. We are here to build a stronger, brighter, prosperous, and progressive Anguilla. Not just for our favored few, but for all of us. In 2020, we never promised you that the journey would be easy. We told you the seas would be rough, but we would navigate the rough waters together, and that is exactly what we are doing, my people. Storms will come, but we will weather them together. Change is always painful, my fellow Anguillians. Life is not always easy, but nothing lasts forever. Tough times do not last, says a familiar quote, but tough people do. We are tough. We are a resilient people. We fell down many times, but we got up again, and we will continue to get up again and again and again. My people, God has been good to us here in Anguilla. He promised never to leave us nor forsake us. God promised to be with us until the end. He is with us. He is by our side. Nothing is impossible with him, and with him all things are possible. My people, you tell us that we are on the right track. You have reminded us that weeping may endure for a night, but our joy will certainly come in the morning. After this storm, our economy will be better, stronger, and more sustainable. Our people will be more independent and our systems more resilient. My fellow Anguillians, on May 23rd and 24th, a serious choice stands before you. You have a decision to make. Do you want to remain stagnant, or do you want progress? The question tonight, do you want to remain stagnant, or do you want progress? I say we want progress. And that is why I say to you tonight, it is time for a new chapter in District 3. There is no way around it, my people. As our Premier put it last evening so eloquently, you have options, but only one choice. Courtney Morton the boat. Courtney Morton the boat. Courtney Morton the boat. Courtney Morton stands ready to answer the call. Courtney Morton is your only real hope in this race. Courtney Morton is the only candidate that can turn your district around, turn our district around. District 3, now is the time for you to come out in your numbers and vote for Courtney Morton the boat. Now is the time for you to come out of that and come into this. There is room on the boat for all of you. This is time to board the boat. This is time to board the boat, I say. This is time to board the boat. It is Courtney Morton all the way on election day. It is Courtney all the way on election day. Climb into the boat. Climb into the boat. My people, the boat is ready. I said the boat is ready to sail. Let us go, my people. Who we going to vote for? Courtney Morton. Who we going to vote for? Courtney Morton. I said, who are we going to vote for? Courtney Morton. It's quack, quack, quack. We ain't turning back. Good night, fellow Anguillians.
Oh yeah, Jehovah has the final say for my life, for your life. Believe in Him, hallelujah. Final say, yes. Final say is what I need. Final say, final say is from the Lord. Who has the final say? Jehovah has the final say. Who has the final say? Jehovah has the final say.
Courtney Morton, the boat. If it was back in the day, you know, we'll be sitting up all night and all we'll be hearing is Courtney Morton the boat, Courtney Morton the boat, Courtney Morton the boat. But now you'll be flashing in front of your screen by 7:30 and we'll be celebrating and swearing in Courtney Morton the boat. Ladies and gentlemen of Anguilla and District 3, there have been so much political gossip run around this country since we have come to office. So much misinformation and conspiracy theories. The government is on the verge of collapse. The government is going to break up. Hayden stabbing Dr. Webster. Sam taking Dr. Webster out to sea. Lady Straw got coiled under her umbrella. All sorts of gossip. And Deanna ain't here tonight because she don't want to be here tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a team united. And when I say united, I mean united. I'm sure many of you will see us hanging out together on many occasions because we are a team united. And on June the 29th, we signed a 5-year contract with the people of this country. And we will not end that contract until the contract is fulfilled. You give us 5 months, 5 years, and we will give you 5 years. And at the end of that 5 years, you will determine whether or not we did a good job and decide whether or not you're going to renew the contract for another 5 years. So until then, they should stop with the gossiping, stop with the rumors, because we ain't going nowhere for the next 3 years and 1 month. After that, judge us on our record. Ladies and gentlemen, the Honorable Minister of Social Development and Education and Sports, Youth and Culture, Ms. Deanne Kentish-Rogers, is listening. And she sent her regards, so much so that she even sent a message to the people of District 3 and the people of Anguilla.
District 3, this is Deanne Kentish-Rogers. I wish I was here with you tonight so I could feel this energy. Tonight and on the 24th of May, you, me, and the entire APM family will rally around the gentleman, the cultural icon, and the financial expert that is Courtney Morton. We will rally because his kindness is unmatched. His generosity knows no bounds. His willingness to go beyond the call of duty is apparent. This man is ready. He is equipped and he is prepared to represent you from day one. Represent the people so intimately known to him. So this time around, tell District 3 loud and proud, I back in the boat.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that's your Honorable Minister sent in just now because she feels the energy and she wanted to let you know that we are a team and we stand united. Ladies and gentlemen, our next speaker is no slouch. Our next speaker went off the cup and we were able to see her in real time. For many years, ladies and gentlemen, we have had elected representatives, especially the former representative for this district, who have gone off on government business and never even showed up to meetings. Never even showed up, made no participation, reported nothing when they came back. No accountability, no transparency, and kicked governance down the street. But we saw in real time the Honorable Parliamentary Secretary being a giant on the world stage, ladies and gentlemen, representing you and I, working on the blue and green economies, transforming this economy. Brilliant lady, and I had the pleasure of working closely with her in tourism. When we first came to office, this island was closed. Restaurants closed, hotels closed, no business whatsoever, ferry boat operators, car renters, everybody. People unemployed, dejected. And when the Honorable Premier sat in the first Executive Council, he looked across the table and he said, we must open this economy. We must create opportunities for the people of Anguilla, and we must increase our appetite for risk. And even though he said we must increase our appetite for risk, he has moved along slowly and cautiously with reopening this country to protect the people of this country. And for those of you who say we are moving too slow with the protocols, just have some empathy, because we have lost 9 souls to the dreaded COVID-19 disease. So be patient. But even though that is the case, we see what is happening, because the Honorable Premier, he tasked this lady with spearheading the opening of the tourism plant. And I like to call her the real Minister of Tourism. I'm just posing as a Minister of Tourism, but she's the real Minister of Tourism. And she was elected so that in a minute she can become the Minister of Tourism and I can be her Parliamentary Secretary. And I have no issue with that, because I am a team player and we are all team players. Ladies and gentlemen, the Honorable Parliamentary Secretary went to hotels and villas and consulted. We went out, we consulted with the stakeholders, we developed programs and training programs in the ministry to equip our people, our taxi drivers, our ferryboat operators, and all the service providers with the tools necessary to keep them safe once we had opened the economy. She came up with the concept of the digital nomad program. And I say she came up with the concept because afterwards you hear other countries rolling out digital nomad programs that had to pull back. But we didn't have to pull back, because through the Minister of Home Affairs, the Honorable Kenneth Hodge, we are able to amend our legislation to ensure that this was a legal program, and the people of Anguilla have benefited from this program, because when persons come to Anguilla to be digital nomads, they rent homes, they rent houses, they consume, and over $1 million have gone into the treasury of Anguilla because of the digital nomad program. This is when we said change couldn't wait. These are the things that we have been doing, and there's a lot more in store. And that is why we are here tonight, to give us a strong majority in the Parliament, a super majority, so that we can continue the upward mobility of the people of this country. So without further delay, I would like to bring my friend, my colleague, and the closest person to me in all of politics. They like to lump us together. The Honorable Parliamentary Secretary, the real Minister of Tourism, Mrs. Quincy Gomes Marie.
Are you ready? 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 When the roll is call out, I'll be standing taller to face the darkest and the hardest of times. We'll be taking care of all the children thereof, but if it's required, we'll be on the front line. You can call me by my name, I am ready to roll. Once the rules remain the same, how the story's been told. Call me anytime, never cop out. Lioness is on the rise.
District 3, APM family, District 3, how we feeling tonight? Good night, District 3, good night, Anguilla, and it is a pleasure to be here with you this evening. Tonight we are here for the last time before we start early voting tomorrow and the district election on Tuesday. And we are here for one purpose. We are here to remind the people of District 3 why they should vote for Courtney Morton, the boat. And not just because he's a member of this hard-working Anguilla progressive movement, but because he stands for what Anguilla needs right now: honesty, integrity, and hard-working people. That is Courtney Morton. We do not need seat fillers. We do not need disruptors. We need people who can do the work and get to work. Because that matters in this election. It's not only who has the ability to do the work, but who is in the position to do the work. And Courtney Morton is that guy. I heard someone say that she wants to be elected so she can fill out forms. Tell her she can do that any day, any time. She don't need an ex for that. I heard somebody say that he wants to be elected so he can disrupt the House of Assembly. Tell him that government work is 7 days a week and not just the 2 times a month we meet in the House of Assembly. Ladies and gentlemen of District 3, we need representation and we need action. We need a doer. There's only one candidate who can do both. It is undeniable that this government is hard at work for the people of Anguilla. It is undeniable that this government is working for the advancement of this country. It is undeniable that this Anguilla Progressive Movement administration has done its level best to use the little it inherited to create much. We are hard workers and we love Anguilla, and there is no denying that. In spite of our efforts over the past year and 11 months, it is sad to say that Anguilla is not yet fixed, but it is the truth. We have done a lot to mobilize this country, but there's a lot more work to do. But I can say with surety that the healing has begun. I can say with surety that the healing has begun. And I am sure that you will agree that the healing has begun. This country requires all hands on deck. And so we must vote in a way that does just that. I heard that some of you, not you down here, but I heard that some of you are conflicted. I heard that some of you are saying, I'm having a problem. I've always voted one way, but this government is a government that I am proud of. I don't know what to do. Well, here is my advice to you. This election is not a general election. On May 25th, the government will be the government. This administration will be here at least until 2025, and this election doesn't change that. So, vote in this election for progress. A vote in this election is a vote for progress. And you have to decide whether progress can occur from the opposition or from government side. And you have to decide if progress occurred since June 29th to today. And sometimes they say even a blind man can see the progress. But that blind man can feel the progress when he drives the valley road and he is jumping. So to those persons who are making promises that can only possible if they are in government, you ask them, how will they do it? And when do they intend to join government side? How will they do it? And when will they intend to join government side? because they can't do it from the opposition. This election is about which candidates can and will help to heal this country, to undo the decades of corruption we have faced. This election is the one time where you can look at the candidates and know before you go to the polls exactly what their fate will be. When you look at the other two candidates, you know that they will be in opposition. And when you look at our existing opposition, you can see that they do nothing and have done nothing. But when you look at Courtney Morton, District 3, when you look at Courtney Morton, you know that he will join government side and work for you. In 2020, they said that we were inexperienced. Now in 2022, you know exactly what this Anguilla progressive movement can do. This inexperienced team turned a $21 million deficit into a $23 million surplus in just 1 year and 11 months. This inexperienced team heard about the Anguillian contractors who were left holding the bag after company left Anguilla without paying them. So in turn, this inexperienced team inserted a clause into every developer's MOU to ensure that in the future, monies will be put aside to protect our local contractors. This is a government hard at work for you. This inexperienced team has almost paid back all of civil servants' back pay and finally began the process of repaying the former employees of the NBA their pensions. And we are in the process of doing the same for the former employees of CCB. The AUF administration took it away and disappeared in a plume of smoke. It was this inexperienced government fixing their mistakes. This inexperienced government saw how the previous administration used statutory bodies to enrich their friends, and in an effort to put a stop to it, brought forward a bill of procurement that will cover all the statutory bodies. And the record will show that when we brought this to the House, the leader of the opposition opposed this bill. A clear sign that she wanted to continue the everlasting fiscal abuse under the AUF. This administration, this inexperienced administration, went on a cleanup campaign to right the wrongs and build on new foundations. This inexperienced government fought to have Anguillians lead our infrastructural projects, and you will see that after June 29th, it was Anguillian contractors who led the way on the development of the Blowing Point Ferry Terminal. It was Anguillian contractors who built the Valley Main Road. It was Anguillian contractors who built the airport road. It was this inexperienced administration that made it possible. It was this inexperienced government who led the overseas territories at COP26 in Glasgow, while the opposition was sitting by idly. It was this inexperienced government that facilitated the introduction of American Airlines while the opposition lied and tried to convince you that they had anything to do with it. It was this inexperienced government that made good on promises that are over 40 years in the making. This inexperienced government that did everything that they hoped to do, wished to do, but did not have the ability to do. It was this inexperienced government who promoted the very same Shelia Rogers-Webster to Deputy Director of Tourism when the party she is running with left her in the dark. So when they call us inexperienced, tell them that we are inexperienced in lying, that we are inexperienced in laziness, that we are inexperienced in sitting by for 4 years and hoping a couple months before the election that we could do something quick. Tell them that we are inexperienced in looking for a way out and kicking the can down the road. Tell them that we are inexperienced in political victimization. Tell them that we are inexperienced in feeling comfortable with seeing Anguilla stagnated and neglected. This election is about who can go to work, who can do the work, who can move this country forward, and it's none other than Mr. Courtney Morton. People of District 3, you can come aboard this boat for progress. You can come aboard this boat for progress. And I will say what I always say. If you always do what you've always done, then you will always get what you've always gotten. And District 3, you deserve so much more. So on May 24th, we vote in the boat. On May 24th, we vote in the boat. On May 24th, get up early. Come out strong. Get your mask on and vote for Courtney Morton. Vote for Courtney Morton. Vote for Courtney Morton to join this team of progressive change makers. Vote for Courtney Morton, the boat. Vote for Courtney Morton, the boat. Vote for Courtney Morton, the boat. On May 24th, we vote in the boat. Thank you, District 3.
Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready?
We vote in the boat. 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 There's only one vote. Only one person can make a real change in District 3. Only one person. When you hear them talking about a gentleman who's going to go in the house and disrupt things, ask them what happens when you go in the house and disrupt things. The Honorable Speaker is going to call the Sergeant at Arms, and the Sergeant at Arms is going to remove the disruptor or the disrupting factor. There is nothing that can be accomplished in District 3 by voting for someone to sit in the opposition benches for the next 3 years in 1.5 months. Because believe it or not, the general election will not be before June 29, 2025. And then after that, it's going to be June the 29th, 2030. By then, Anguilla will be a whole transformed country under the leadership of Premier Dr. Ellis Lorenzo Webster. There's only one candidate in this general election. Only one candidate in this by-election that you'll go out and vote for on Tuesday, the 24th of May. So that on the 30th of May, at our first Anguilla Day celebrations in a number of years that will be sitting on the James Ronald Webster Park, you will have a representative being ushered in by the name of the Honorable Courtney Morton. Someone who will sit in Parliament, sit in Cabinet, sit in the Executive Council and the decision-making bodies of this country to move forward bills, to move forward with the progress that this country has been making. Only one person can do it. And I'll tell you something, and Flex can tell you this for a matter of fact, Courtney Morton's work in the community did not start because he wanted to run for politics. It started many decades ago, elevating our youth, working for our youth, elevating the art form, calypso, elevating carnival, all of these things he was doing. And then he was asked to run for office because people saw his value as a private citizen doing the good work of the people of this country, doing the good work of the people of this community. And so he was asked, and he made a huge sacrifice. He gave up his great job, his excellent job, to come back home to serve and continue to serve the people of this country. And he ran for elections, and he lost by 40 votes. But this humble man is going to be sworn in less than a week as your next representative and the one who will change the apathy that has happened in this constituency for decades. So without further delay, it gives me great pride and honor to welcome to the podium your next district representative, Mr. Courtney Morton. The vote.
Back again. Jump, 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 jump. You wouldn't believe the amount of people who meet me on the street and say the same thing. That for years now they're anxiously waiting to hear a little something from the king. From the children to teacher, musician to blabber to Christian on Sunday morning. Sharing the fans and feed it to me. They said 10,000 patriots in St. Kitts Nevis can't be wrong. Can't waste no time no more when we say that we want you on this staging song. You have the magic to make us jump again. And beyond the stressing of the world, we need good music in we soul. Is every one of them under saying to me, the man for number 3, sing a song for me. But when you hit the stage, I'll be jumping up again. The man for number 3. Good night to the people of Valley North. Good night to the people of Anguilla. Special good night to the residents of Little Lakes. I stand here tonight not as a stranger, but as a friend, a cousin, a brother, and a classmate. After Election Day, with your help, with your support, with your vote, I'll be standing as your representative for the Valley North and serving you in the House of Assembly and Executive Council along with the rest of the APM members. I am a banker by profession with 34 years experience, 25 of which I served in the upper management. And the last 16 months, I serve as your ministerial assistant in the Ministry of Finance. The time for reckoning is now. The time to reaffirm your commitment to Valley North is now. The time to rebuild our district is here and now. And if the other two candidates truly love Valley North, they will tell you that if they are elected, they cannot fulfill the campaign trail promises because they'll be sitting on the opposition side. My people of Valley North, since we have this golden opportunity, send me to work on your behalf. We have been neglected here in Valley North far too long. Here in Valley North, we have taken enough of the empty promises and heard enough of the eloquent speeches, but all it brought us is robberies, gunshots, where it was once a peaceful community. This is a lesson that we must learn. When our leaders fail to lead, things fall apart. Absent leadership hurts and our district suffers. The current candidate for the AUF said it herself more than once. Ladies and gentlemen, as I traverse the district, I can see and feel the real issues, the need for playgrounds, parks, after-school programs, community centers to keep our youth engaged. Valley North is a big district, and far too many of our people, especially our youngsters and our elderly, are neglected in areas of well-being. We need monitors and counselors, coaches, big brothers and big sister programs. We need direct and focused help for our grassroots level where our people are. This does not take 17 years to achieve. This takes a caring district leader. We have come from an era where we had softball teams up and down this district, and our youth was fully engaged. None of us can forget the potentials from the Farrington, the Rockies from Stoner Ground and Little Leagues, the Royals and Starlets from the Valley. No one could forget those teams. The former representative of this district once said, and I quote, "I have trained Shelia. She is ready to work. She has worked with me in several elections," end quote. Valley North, if we elect Shelia Rogers Webster, who was trained by Mr. Evans McNeil Rogers, then make up your mind. Make up your mind for 3 more years of nothing. Make up your mind for empty promises and neglect of our youth in this district. Make up your mind for this district to be standstill for another 3 years. But this is something we can't afford. Ladies and gentlemen, Anguilla is on the move. And the proof of that statement can be felt right here in Valley North. And if I have to bring it closer home, spend some time in Northside on the road, and you will notice the trailer trucks going up the hill loaded with big bags of cement. The big dump trucks going up the hill loaded with sand. the number of concrete trucks coming down the hill, the number of big trucks and small trucks coming down the hill with blocks. And if you have to order one block today, you replace on a waiting list. Yep. And Willa is on the move. Let me tell you something, my people, and some of us can see for ourselves. The construction sector is bouncing back, and this country is bouncing back in this country, and that is happening at a rapid pace. But let me go a little further and invite you to drive to Cedar Village, North Side, Tackling, Cars Bottom, and Sholby. And if you count, there are well over 20 new homes under construction, and Willa is on the move. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the work of your APM administration. We are quickly making Anguilla the investor choice in the region. We have created hundreds of new jobs, not only in the tourism industry, but also in the construction industry. We have already brought back the economy from collapse. The NCBA Bank is now giving mortgages at 100% financing. And to tell you about this administration goes to work every single day for you, the people of Valenard. This administration goes to work on your behalf every single day. Do not be foolish and talk to you blind. Don't let them fool you and talk to you blind. Open your eyes. You are bright and intelligent, and you can see it for yourself. Over the last 22 months, we have been putting in the hard work. Very not. Now is not the time to send your representative to the opposition side. You are overdue for leadership in government. Now is the time to send me Courtney Morton to work on your behalf. Now is the time, Valenard, for proper representation in government and action in your community. Imagine the sense of pride when I will represent you and the APM team discussing a number of projects in the pipeline for the upcoming weeks and months. Listen to the list of things that are in the pipeline for my people, and let us thank God together. The new airport terminal at the Clayton J. Lloyd International Airport. That's your APM administration. A new track and field facility. That's your APM administration. The new Savannah Bay Hotel and Marina. That's your APM administration. The new Rendezvous Bay Hotel and Marina. That's your APM administration. The new Altima project. That's your APM administration. These things can only be accomplished because you have a government that goes to work every day on your behalf. Anguilla is on the rise, whether they want to admit it or not. Facts are stubborn things, my people. My people, we are in a better place. And here in Valenard, you must step up to the plate and vote for me, Courtney Morton, the vote. so I can have a better position to do your work and deliver on projects that we have already discussed for Bella North. These are serious times, my people. And as you have heard so often, elections have consequences. This election is just a few hours away from now. Look around your district for any community development that our farmer representative has done. You won't find any. You cannot award nothing with something, my people. Nothing from nothing leaves nothing. During the last 22 years, we have lost so many young men in this area. So many families are still in grief. So many of our young men still live in fear right here in Anguilla, right here in Bella North. We cannot ignore this reality, my people. Our sons need us. Our children are expecting us to help. Yes, even when they would have done bad decisions, we need to help them. Who among us have not made a bad decision? Ladies and gentlemen, when we ignore the real issues, they become the norm. Courtney Morton will not sit idly by without trying to help. I am prepared to lead an effort to liberate our precious youngsters in Bella North and in Anguilla. Gang warfare is not who we are. The eloquent speeches, empty promises, and blatant neglect of our community have shown a downright misrepresentation of your vote, and as a result, have brought many tears to our eyes. Bella North, this hand-me-down philosophy by the AUF should not work this time. Let me repeat. Bella North, this hand-me-down philosophy by the AUF should not work this time. Do not sink our district further and further into disrepair. You have the power. You have the vote. You can make that change. This is your chance to change your circumstances. Seize the moment. Embrace this chance to be part of history. Your chance to be part of an administration that is moving Anguilla forward. Shoulder to shoulder, leaving no one behind. Vote for me, Courtney Morton, the vote. Ladies and gentlemen, I have made this comment in Northside last night. I would like to say it again. In a climate where government is critical and countries rely on stability to be functional, thriving, and prosperous, I am your only candidate in this election who can start working on your behalf from day one. I am the only candidate who can represent your interest in government and in the House of Assembly. I, Courtney Morton, am the only viable candidate in this by-election. I am ready to stand shoulder to shoulder with you on every level and be your humble servant. On May 23rd, go to the polls at the House of Assembly. And on May 24th, go to the polls at the Aurelia Kelly Primary School. Come out early. Come out in your numbers. and vote for yours truly, Courtney Morton the boat, as your next district representative. But let me repeat again, my people. Vote for me, Courtney Morton the boat, because I am the only candidate in this by-election you see on a daily or weekly basis in your country, and I don't come around only when it's election time. Vote for me, Courtney Morton the boat, because I am the only candidate in this by-election who can guarantee you representation in government and action in your community long after election day. Vote for me, Courtney Morton the boat, because I am the only candidate who can sit on the government side of the aisle and present your interests from May 25th, 2022. None of the other candidates can promise you that. Vote for me, Courtney Morton, because I am the candidate in this by-election who can guarantee you representation and action in your community long after election day. Look for the boat and vote for Courtney Morton the boat. Good night, thank you, God bless, and have a great evening.
On the street and say the same thing.
This election, this by-election, is a critical election. You know, when you go into a general election, you really don't know how it's going to shake out. You don't know who's going to really win, who's going to form the government, who is going to be ministers, who's going to be dealing with whatever portfolios. You don't know whether it's going to be this party in government or that party in government. So you go out with the hope that your party, your representative will be elected to government, to serve in government. That is your hope. So this is by-election here in District 3. You know that you have one candidate who will be talking about how people smell and who do this and who do that. You have another candidate who's going to be twiddling her fingers and getting her fingernails polished. And you have another candidate who's going to be sitting in government getting things done for the people of this district and the people of Anguilla. If you don't vote for Courtney Morton the boat, and the other candidate wins, whoever that may be, they may celebrate the night, but then what? But then what? They may celebrate on Tuesday night, but on Wednesday morning, they wake up to the reality that nothing has changed. The only change that you can have in this district, the only real representation that you can have in this district, if you vote for Courtney Morton the vote. He's the only one candidate that can make fundamental change in this election. No other one can say that. They can boast that they're going to set up an office and fill out forms. They can boast and tell you that they're going to go to the house and they're going to repeal taxes. But how? 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 And you don't have to wait too long, you know, because this upcoming Friday, there's going to be a sitting of Parliament. This Friday, there will be a sitting of Parliament. And if you have Courtney in the House, then you will see him representing you from the government side, moving things forward. But if you don't vote for Courtney, you're going to have somebody on the opposition side just watching and wishing that the government could collapse, that they don't have an opportunity. But this government ain't going nowhere, because our captain is a sound captain. Our captain is a real leader. Our captain is a listener. Our captain is empathetic. Our captain has fingers like a surgeon. Our captain is a surgeon. Our captain don't come like a bull in a china shop or a masher just trying to chop everything up. He does things with surgical precision. Our captain is capable. Our captain came back to give back, and he is giving back. And I am proud to be sailing in a boat with Dr. Ellis Lorenzo Webster. I am proud to be sailing in that boat. And while I say that, I want you to give a round of applause to Mr. Sam Webster, who saw the vision and said to his brother, listen, I will step aside. And I can tell you, for the 5 years I worked with Sam Webster, he was a joy to work with. He was a student. You could put down any piece of document in front of him, and he could tell you everything about that document. And it was a shame that he did not win in 2020. But his brother has demonstrated the sort of leadership that Anguilla needed for a very long time. And that is why I, Hayden Hughes, along with the rest of the candidates, support him unequivocally because of his steadfastness, his ability to listen, his ability to ensure that he's making the right decisions for the people of this country. And I have the distinct honor of welcoming him to the podium, my captain, my leader, your leader that hails from District 1, the Honorable Premier, Dr. Ellis Lorenzo Webster.
Good night to Little Dicks. All right. Good night to District 3, Valley North. Good night to Anguilla and to Anguillians here and abroad. It's wonderful to be here in Little Dicks. And if anybody see Breed, tell him to come back home. He's got to see blue. Come back home, Breed. There he is. There is Breed. Welcome back, my brother. I know you didn't leave, but it's good to see you. You give me inspiration that it's finally time for this district to elect the right man, the man with the plan, Courtney Morton, the boat. So, District 3, Valley North, has been praying for a long time for a leader. And they've gotten it wrong for a long time. You've heard that tonight. But tomorrow, the 23rd of May, and Tuesday, the 24th of May, District 3 has another chance to get the right leader in place. District 3 has been praying for relief. District 3 needs a Daniel, one who can crush a lion and can dim the lights of the beacon. That is Courtney Morton. Courtney Morton, the boat. And we don't need a disruptor, we don't need an opposer, but we need a doer. And you continue to hear that Courtney Morton is a doer. And he didn't just start doing it a few years ago. So they said from the 90s that Courtney Morton was here in this district doing things to help the people of this district, his people, his neighbors, his friends, his family. And that's what Courtney will continue to do. And so tonight, when you hear the man, a quiet storm, well, I shouldn't say storm. He's like the UFO, always going around the state first and always finishing first. People in District 5 might say differently, but you know, Courtney is quiet, but he is deadly. He gets it done. And Courtney has been with me, I've known him now very well for about 2.5 years. But Anguilla has known him much longer. This district has known him forever. But for 2.5 years, a few of those months campaigning, and almost 2 years as my ministerial assistant, I can tell you that Courtney Morton, his advice is sound. His advice is that research. His advice is such that you cannot miss when you follow what he tells me. He is the right man with the right style, approach, and attitude, so to speak. I'm sure you've heard those words before from the former representative, but this time it is real. He has the right style, he has the right approach, he has the right attitude, and he will get the job done for Valley North. Finally, good representation, meaningful representation. That's what Courtney Morton brings to this district. Action in the community. And I said last night that this election is based on credibility, based on truth. And you know that Courtney Morton, he represents the truth. He's credible, he's reliable, and when he tells you he's going to do it, he gets it done. That's the Courtney Morton I know. And I can give him a task. And I know that before I can close the book, he's already started to work on it. As Minister Kyle Hart said last night, he's an ideas man. He's a solutions man. That's the Courtney Morton that is the best for this community. Little Dix, Shoal Bay, North Side, North Valley. That is the man that we need in office. So Courtney is not a rookie. You know, the former representative for this district called us rookies, said that we had no experience. But you heard the Honorable Parliament Secretary tell us about what this inexperience has done for this country, Anguilla. And if you need inexperienced people who can get the job done, then you have us, and we're doing the job. But Courtney's not a rookie. Courtney has been involved for almost 2 years. He is here. He's there, so he knows what's going on. He knows where the money is. He knows what can be done and what cannot be done. And when he tells you he's going to get it done, you can believe it that he will do it. Courtney Morton the vote. On May 23rd and 24th, vote Courtney Morton the vote. Thank you very much. But there's a scourge on this community, a scourge on Anguilla. And you heard Courtney Morton refer to it earlier, this scourge of gun violence that is taking away our young people and taking away their full potential very early. Some of you have felt that very close to home. And this has to stop. We have to give our young people the ability to know that Anguilla belongs to them, that they don't feel disenfranchised, that they don't feel that they have lost out on this economy and lost out on this country. For many years, Anguilla has not provided for the young people that sense of involvement, that sense of that we care about you. And with this administration that is made up of young people and those who are not so young, we look out for the young people because we know they are the future, when in fact they are the now of this country. Some of us are a little gray in the head or bald and we're on our way out, but the young people are the ones that will make Anguilla what it should be, what it should have been, what 55 years ago our forefathers and our foremothers fought for. This is what this country needs. And the young people will be able to take us to that potential. But I say right now, the Anguilla Progressive Movement administration is the only administration that has the heart and soul and the will of this country at heart. And Courtney Morton is the one person in this election, this by-election, who can bring that closer to home. He's the only one of the three options. He's the only choice. The only one who can be in Executive Council on Thursday and be in the House on Friday getting sworn in and making meaningful change, representing you, the people of District 3, Valley North. You have that chance. And so on Wednesday morning, don't blame us if you make the wrong choice. Because the only choice you have is Courtney Morton. And when you get to the polls, you vote for the boat. You'll see Courtney Morton, you'll see the symbol of the boat, you fill in the circle, you do it with pride, and you know that on Wednesday he'll be in cabinet as a full-fledged member of the government, not as a ministerial assistant. On Thursday he's been in Executive Council as a fully elected representative for District 3, finally good representation. And on Friday, the 27th, he'll be in the House of Assembly, he'll be sworn in, and he'll be making decisions that are binding, lasting, and he just won't be saying, okay, Dr. Webster, I advise you this way. He'll be there to vote, and his vote will count. Finally, District 3, you won't have the Executive Council minutes saying that the member for District 3 was absent. I mean, we do know that that came up in the last election, and they, you know, it was marked over 40 times that he was absent in that period. So finally he stepped down. That's understandable, he wasn't here anyway. So now I mentioned about our young people, and Courtney Morton has been involved in sports, he's been involved in culture, he's been writing songs for Calypsonians, young and old, and he will continue to do that. And he is now working with the Ministry of Social Development and Education to make sure that we come up with solutions to help this scourge of gun violence that is permeating through this country. Courtney is already working, he's not even elected yet and he's working. That tells you there's a man that has the right ability, but he also has at heart the people of Anguilla. The well-being of the people of Anguilla is what keeps him up at night. Courtney is here. So vote for Courtney Morton the vote on May the 23rd and 24th. And I just want to say that Courtney is ready. I can say that without a shadow of a doubt, that Courtney is ready. He won't be coming in to learn on the job. He's already training. He is ready. You know, Courtney's a banker. And the two things that bankers have to deal with, you have to deal with compliance issues and regulatory issues. And these are the things that Anguilla is right now burdened with. When we came into office, we were non-compliant with the OECD. We were blacklisted by the European Union. And it takes a banker like Courtney to make things happen so that we can become compliant, so that we can get off the blacklist. And so with Courtney's help, we were able to get off the blacklist with the European Union. But that is temporary. And so in October, we are coming up for review again. And if you have Courtney in there with a full vote, he can help us to get Anguilla permanently off the blacklist, permanently compliant. That is what we need. So we're not talking about somebody who's just going to show up and sit down and fill out forms. We're talking about somebody who already knows all the forms and he is already doing the work. We also have NCBA, the National Commercial Bank of Anguilla. And we know that with the banking resolution on the 16th of April 2016, that is the 22nd of April 2016, that the government at that time committed to $332 million of debt. Now NCBA has to be sold. Who better do you want on that sales committee than Courtney Morton, the elected representative for District 3, Valley North, representing your interests? Making sure that the bank becomes viable, but also that when you sell it, you get value for money so that we can pay off that debt, so that we can take that foot off our neck that is keeping Anguilla down. Anguilla has been stifled in terms of its progress because of the high debt that has been encountered. And so when NCBA is sold, we want to make sure that Courtney is there so that there's a full vote on the shareholders committee. The shareholder committee is made up of the government of Anguilla and the members in the executive council. You need Courtney there representing your interests. Because if you vote for any of the other two, the disruptor and the opposer, they will not get close to the door of the executive council except the day that they get sworn in, and then that will be over. Because they'll never see executive council again until, if the governor invites them down for some kind of event. Because they'll have no say. And that's how our situation, that's how the system works. The system works, whoever's got the majority in government has the say. As they say, the ayes have it. Well, give Courtney the chance to represent your interests. Once and for all, have a representative that can do the things that are necessary to make Valley North do better, be better. No excuses. Certainly the other two may be nice people. But at this time, Anguilla doesn't need nice. Anguilla needs competent. Anguilla needs ability. Anguilla needs access. Courtney Morton has access from day one. And that's what you have to vote for. And so that's why we are asking you. We are begging you. Because it's time that Valley North stands up and be counted, be represented in the government of Anguilla. And so that's what it takes. So we can be here and we can talk to you, and we've gone house to house and we've met with you on your porches and your yards and your living rooms. And we've explained. Certainly you have questions. Some things you don't understand. Some things they try to confuse you with all these radio programs. And you asked the questions, and we gave the answers. We didn't shy away. We didn't hide from you. We told you as it was. We told you why we had to do what we did. We told you we had to make the tough decisions. You heard Minister Kenneth Hodge say that tough times don't last, tough people do. We took the tough stances that were necessary, and we did it for you, the people. Because we took an oath. And we took an oath and said that we would look out for the well-being of the people of Anguilla, young, the elderly, and all those in between. And we stated to you what our vision was before the last election, and we are still held to that same vision. And it says that we understand that enhancing the foundation of a great society means investing more in its people and empowering them to take ownership of their own destiny. And we are determined. We are determined to let our society be judged the same way all great societies are judged, by the way it takes care of its very young and its elderly. And we shall set out to build not just another society, but a just, fair and flourishing society, a new Anguilla. And we can only do that if you elect Courtney Morton on May the 23rd and the 24th. And that's not next week, that's not next month, that's tomorrow and Tuesday. You have an opportunity. And so everyone under the sound of my voice, you have no excuse. Because on Tuesday evening, when the votes are counted and they announce that the winner of the Valley North seat, District 3, is Courtney Morton the vote, then we all know that we have done the right thing, that we have put Anguilla first, that we have saved this district. Finally, let's save Anguilla together, and let's start with District 3. You know, I've worked with Courtney. And some people say he's quiet. But when Courtney has a mission, he's dogged about it. He sits on it. He comes back time and time again. He shows you why it is necessary to do it the way that it needs to be done, that he's pointed out. And I think it's that type of determination, that type of leadership that you need, Valley North, District 3, that you need in government, pushing for your interests there. He has outlined the plan that he has. And now, as a representative for the district, he has more say, he has a vote. I mean, certainly with us, he is there, but he will, in Executive Council, his voice will have more power if he is there with us than if he just sits in cabinet and we talk about it. Because we are not a self-governing nation. We have administering power, and we have to make the case. And so the more of us that are there, the better chance that we have to make the points necessary, to have the necessary data, the information. And Courtney is a numbers man. He can tell it like it is. He is scientific, he's research oriented, and he's a doer, an action man, a man with a plan. Let's vote tomorrow and Tuesday, May 23rd and 24th. Vote for Courtney Morton the vote. Now I know they may not like us. You know, we get the job done. They were hoping that we'd fall flat on our faces. You know, they said that. You know, they said we were making wrong decisions. We opened up the country too soon. You know, they closed it down. We said July 31st it had to open up in the first phase. The parliamentary secretary came up with the protocols. She came up with a bubble concept. We got things done. We got people back to work. But those are the decisions that you have to make. You have to weigh the pros and cons. You have to balance lives versus livelihoods. We did that. And you are benefiting from that. We have an economy that is back. We have construction on the rebound. We have infrastructure that you can see. We have projects and programs that are in place. We have the American University of Anguilla, which is a medical school, which is here now, a second medical school. We have plans for more medical schools, more institutions of higher learning. We are getting the job done. So what more do you want from us? We are doing the people's work. And we go to work all the time to make sure that the work gets done. And we listen to the people. And a lot of the stuff that we have done, we have had input from others because, as the Minister for Infrastructure and Tourism says, we don't have all the answers. We don't have a monopoly on ideas. But when you tell us what you want done and it makes good sense, we push and push and push until we get it done. That's what this administration is all about. And with Courtney, you know that you have a man who is going to represent your interests every day. He's not going to rest until he makes sure that your interests are put forward and that your well-being is paramount. That's what Courtney Morton brings. And so that's why I'm asking you tomorrow and Tuesday, wear your mask, because I heard you have to wear a mask to vote. Come on out early, vote, and put Courtney Morton in the House. Put Courtney Morton in government as an elected representative for District 3, Valley North. Do what you can to help yourself. This is your opportunity. And if perchance you don't like Courtney, and I don't know how that would be possible, you'd need your head examined, but if you don't like Courtney, give him 3 years to prove himself, because anybody else is only going to go in there and sit down and not get anything done. Give him 3 years, and if in 3 years he doesn't do the work, in 2025, vote him out. That's what I say. Give Courtney a chance. He can't do any worse than the representative you had last time. And he certainly can't do any worse than anybody who's coming in that's not him this time. So give Courtney Morton a chance. You need him in the House of Representatives, in the House of Assembly. You need him in government. You need Courtney Morton. So that is my appeal. And we've come out to you, and we are here tonight appealing to you. District 3, you need someone who can take your wishes, your interests, to the seat of government, into Executive Council, into the House, and so that the work can get done, so the bills can pass, so the acts can be assented to, so that you can benefit from it. I don't see any other way. I don't see how anyone can then go into the House, to the House of Assembly tomorrow to vote in the early election and choose otherwise. I don't see how on Tuesday you can go to the Aurelia Kelly Primary School and do otherwise than to vote for Courtney Morton the boat. Courtney Morton the boat. Courtney Morton the boat. The boat is sailing. All members are on board. You've heard from all the members tonight. Even those absent from the country called in tonight to let you know that this boat is unified, it's balanced right, the tiller is in hand, the sails are trimmed, we are sailing right and we are on an upward trend. The Anguilla Progressive Movement is sailing firm and it's sailing true. Vote for Courtney Morton. We just need Courtney to balance the boat up in the forward and we're gonna be all right. And so, they can't say nothing bad about Courtney because he's been here in the community since the 90s and even before that. So they'll try to say things bad about the Anguilla Progressive Movement, but they can't say anything bad about us then either. Because all the decisions that we made were in the best interest of this country, to protect this country for the people of Anguilla, those born and unborn. And I'll stand up for that anytime and say, that's what we have to do for this country. On Monday the 30th of May, I'll get to stand on the James Ronald Webster Park, a park named after the father of the nation who led the revolution back in 1967 to free Anguilla so that we could have this opportunity to build a country, to build a nation, so that those who are born after can say, be proud, resilient, and in the future, soon enough to be free. And I'll be able to stand up as your premier and say thanks to those who went before, who gave us this opportunity, and thanks to my cabinet, the members of government who stood beside me to say that we will save this country no matter what it takes. Though the heavens fall, we will be pointed true like the needle of the compass is to the pole. Because we need men and women who can stand up and be counted. Accountability, transparency, and good governance. And Courtney Morton represents that. He is the man that can stand up for this country, for District 3, for Valley North. And so each one of these villages in District 3, you need to come out in droves. You need to come out and vote tomorrow and Tuesday. Vote for Courtney Morton the vote. He's the only one who can get you to the place where you need to be. He's a man that I am willing to stand next to. He's a man that has stood next to me. And we've gotten the job done. And I know that he can do more as your elected representative than he can do as my ministerial assistant. Because now he has a vote at all levels. And that's what you need. You need meaningful representation. A man of action. A community man. Courtney Morton. The man with the plan. The man for District 3. The man for Valley North. So on May the 23rd and 24th, vote Courtney Morton the vote. Vote Courtney Morton the vote. Vote Courtney Morton. He is a man. Vote Courtney Morton. And Breed, thanks for coming back home. Good night. God bless you. And God bless Anguilla. God bless the people of Valley North. Thank you very much.
There's been so many things that's held us down, but now it looks like things are finally coming around. I know we've got a long, long way to go, and where we'll end up, back again. Jump, 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 jump. You wouldn't believe the amount of people who meet me on the street and say the same thing. That for years now they're anxiously waiting to hear a little something from the king. From little children to teacher, musician to blogger to Christian on Sunday morning. From Tivana to Julie, I t-shirt to Shari, me fans them pleading to me. They say 10,000 patriots in St. Kitts need this, can't be wrong. Can't waste no time, no hope when we say that we want you on this staging song. You have the magic to make us jump again, and we don't distressing on the world. We need good music in we soul. Is everyone and them just say it to me? The man for number 3, sing a song for me. When you hit this stage, I'll be jumping up again. Bring back your melody to have a hold on me, cause you're sweet so tender. I'm gonna be jumping up again.
Valinor, thank you so much for coming out. Don't leave right now. You could move around, support the bass heads. We have Exodus Band coming up in a few minutes. Of course, I'd like to walk around and meet my residents in this district, and you have an opportunity to talk to the rest of the government about any issues you may have. So please stick around. And remember, on May 23rd and 24th, vote for Courtney, Morton, the board. It's time. It's time for proper representation in Valinor. It's time for community action. We have men in this district who have grandchildren, and they were still waiting on basketball courts. And that's what our representative has done for us. Nothing from nothing, leave nothing. It's time for a change. It's time for a new direction. It's time to vote for Courtney Morton, the board, and get our district on the move. I'm tired, and you must be. I am tired, and you must be tired also of the empty promises. The empty promises. The eloquent speeches are nothing. The Queen Show material. This is time for hard work. And that work cannot come from the opposition side of the bench. We can't wait another 3 years, Valinor. We cannot. We'll be waiting 20 years. 20 years. And like I said earlier, Everett McNeil said, and I quote, I have trained Shelia. She is ready. She have worked in the trenches with me, end quote. That gets me angry, because when you vote Shelia, it's so much of the same old. Nothing from nothing, leave nothing. It's time for a change, Valinor. This is your time. I'm asking you, this is your time for a change. We can't afford to see our children being gunned down. We can't afford to lie down in our homes and hear gunshots and do nothing about it. And it just didn't start yesterday. It started way back. And we had a member of government, Minister of Social Development, that did nothing. And now he's training somebody to walk in his footsteps. No time for that. No time for that hand-me-down mentality. Valinor, this is your time. This is your time. No one is entitled to your district. You have the right to it. You have the vote. You have the power. And now is your time to make that change. Now is your time to have someone who will walk shoulder to shoulder with you. Now is the time to have someone who's on your level. I didn't come down here. I've been here on your level. This is the time for people you could talk to. But when you have a representative in government you can't speak to, you get nothing done. Nothing from nothing leaves nothing. This is your time, Bernard. This is your time. Your time for a change in the right direction. Your time to have a say in government. Your time to be part of the decision-making process. This is it, ladies and gentlemen. This is the team. This is where your representative should be. Thank you.
Demand for number 3, sing a song for me. But when you hit this stage, I'll be jumping up again. Bring back your melody to have a hold on me. Cause your sweet so tell, I'm gonna be jumping up again. Jump, 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 jump. Who could have predict the irony of the whole world getting blinded in 2020? Not a man could have moved, take a flight or a cruise while distancing socially. Now it's all kind of who's got people so confused and no vision to men with country. Got people so depressed, people dying of stress, so the masses fall out to me. There's 10,000 pages and said kids need this, can't be wrong. Can't reach much, I know how you can lift the spirits by singing a song.